Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you to Lady Lavinia's for the stream. Welcome everybody from her stream. We're just getting started today as the streets of New Capenna, whatever, are kind of out on Magic Online. Cards are only available in treasure chests, and it's kind of my ritual to take the morning off on these set releases and just try to figure out if there's anything I can stream in the afternoon. And today I spent all my tickets on treasure chests, and I opened a Bant Triome, which is a card I've been wanting to play with for a really long time. The Bant Triome, and this is probably about as good as we're gonna get today for a stream with playing with some of the new cards. It doesn't have any art. It's all of the cards. This is usually not the case, but for whatever reason, all of the cards in the new set are currently artless. We'll see when that changes, if it ever does change. But we've got at least enough for like a little bit of content here today, huh? Yeah, oh boy, and this hand is fetching it on turn 1. Are the new cards out, or do I get early access? I don't freaking get anything, dude. I had to buy a bunch of treasure chests, and the new cards are only available in treasure chests. So I got incredibly lucky, and I opened the Bant Triome. I didn't think I was gonna end up streaming today, but I knew that this is what I wanted. At some point I wanted to play Bant, and this was like really the only card I thought this deck got was the Bant Triome. Like maybe you want to play like the new Aether Gust. That card's not that good though. And so I'm like, well, I knew I was gonna do this for some stream anyways. Let's just do it today. And there it is, baby, right into play, format warping, perhaps, huh? And Spreading Seas my opponent's Spire Bluff Canal. Agent Hunt, thank you for the 13 months. Appreciate you. New Aether Gust can hit graveyards too. What? No, it can't. Modek, thank you for the 6 months. Appreciate you. Press F to doubt. Type instance. We're probably talking about different cards. Endless Detour. Whoa, it can't hit graveyards! Spell, non-land permanent, or card in graveyard. Dude, I had no idea that was on that card, huh? Could not have told you that was the case. Hoping it's Underworld Breach. Force of Negation got a lot better. Oh no! I should give me my Spreading Seas back. Give it back to me. Yeah, I mean, it's not like I have access to the Endless Detour card. If I did have it, maybe we'd play a copy, right? Maybe we'd play a copy. Alright, you know what's better than 1 Bant Triome? 2 Bant Triomes. Wow. Game breaking. Streamdecker says his dragon. Sorry, I will change that. I thought I updated it. I put the Seaside Citadel in the Bant deck at least. Okay, there we go. I think Bant Triome was playable. Bant Reclamation. Yep. You probably want to play even more than just 1 copy there. How many chests did I open? I opened like 50. This is always the problem. It's not, like the day of set release is always such a grind because I'm like, I need to be getting this shit out as soon as I possibly can, or at least I feel a pressure to. And I do this every time. I open like 50 chests, and here's what I got. I got from the new set, I got a Vivian, the 6-mana Vivian. I got Soul of Emancipation, the new Trasodon, the Bant Triome, and then that's it. Just these are all reprints that I technically have in my collection. I do this every time though. It's just like, hey, gotta get the cards. Gotta get the cards. And so I was thinking, I was thinking I wasn't gonna stream today. We got my car washed. I just didn't think I could get anything together. Then I opened the Bant Shrine. I was like, okay, we'll fire up the stream. Any reason to not Solitude to prevent their value? The reason to not Solitude is that usually Solituding a Dragon Rage's Channeler is not very good value. Especially when my opponent's got Urza Saga tokens that are bigger and scarier. Yeah, fire up the stream for a Bant Shrine. I mean, I also feel bad because yesterday I did a short stream because I needed to prep my decks. I needed to do Channel Fireball stuff, and like, and then it's like to do like no short stream into no stream is just hurts my soul, you know. Just hurts my soul. So I might Solitude this Construct token. Probably should. Response to the equip, and I think I'm pitching it to Teferi. Well, Teferi pitches to Force too. Yeah, let me actually just pitch a Solitude. Did the rats eat your cash? Also move to the new place. Well, I'm not moved into the new place yet. That's a week from tomorrow. I did sign up for a internet plan though. I fiber internet's gonna be at the new place, and we're getting 5 gigabytes up, 5 gigabytes down. I'm freaking stoked. I am incredibly happy for the new internet. 5 up, 5 down. All right, I'm gonna draw 2 here. Like, just finding a land to turn on these Ice-Fangs is just the biggest deal ever. Okay, we did that. Not a land unless we cast it by 1-mana spells. That's okay, though. Yeah, we're getting that bit rate up. Right up there. Irish, thank you for the 9 months. Appreciate you. Deck tech for Moyer. They're equipping onto Ragavan. It's a good play. Okay, I'm just gonna trade for Ragavan and the Construct. Esper Control, very cool, very cool. Okay, I do like Obscura Charm. Oh, here's the thing though, I just feel like you have 12 3-drops. It's too many 3-drops in your 60 card deck. Do I force this Unholy Heat? Maybe. It's kind of awkward to use the Force of Negation in this matchup, though. Since my opponent's playing Underworld Breach. I could Solitude. I could Solitude the Ragavan. They don't get the trigger. I get to keep the Force for... Underworld Breach. Sorry, yeah, Underworld Breach. So yeah, I think... Here's one thing. I keep seeing on Twitter all the Esper control players are applauding themselves, saying... Esper is going to be the best control deck in Modern. Voidrend is the perfect answer to Murktide Regent. We can answer Murktide Regent to Voidrend. We can answer anything with Voidrend. But here's the thing. It's like, and I saw someone on Twitter going like, I've been playtesting Esper Control against Murktide, and I keep Voidrending their Murktide, and it feels like the perfect answer to that matchup. But the thing is, Blue-White Control is already like the best deck in the entire format against Murktide. Blue-White Control is already the best deck in the whole format against Murktide. And the fact that this card like makes specifically that matchup better is not a big sell to me. This is not... Oh, I lost... Oh no, I lost Death Touch. Oh no, I missed that. Oh no. I was too busy making fun of Esper Control players. But the fact that it makes one of your best matchups in the format better is... it's not that big a deal, I think. I think it's not a huge W, to be honest. And ooh, what a great draw. Yeah. It's I think this card is not really. You could maybe play one copy and then eventually cut it when you realize it's just not better than a lot of other options. But you just can't have this many 3-drops, I think. I think you're going to be playing like 9 3-drops at like most, and so those 3-drops are going to be like 4 Teferi Time Raveler, 4 Archmage Charm, and like 1 Obscure Charm. Maybe you play 2 and you just get to have your fun for a little bit. But I really want to see the 7th cheap Exile spell. I really want to see Solitude in here. So like, I really want to see Solitude in here. So like cutting the Void Rends and the 3rd Obscura Charm. Mana seems fine. I always tell people to play second Hall over first Colonnade. I think I still advocate for that in the Esper version, to be honest. I just hate Celestial Colonnade so much. I do like the Thoughtseizes in the sideboard. Sideboard looks pretty good. Hard to comment too much without like knowing what the metagame looks like. So those are my thoughts. Yeah, this lets them get at least 2 cards off Bauble. I think we probably just force that. Unfortunately, their last card is also a spell. Oh, no, sorry, it's just equipping Shadow Spear. That's fine. 1 card left in their hand. Could be a spell. Not going to throw my Supreme Verdict at them yet. Just going to get my Yorion and hope that card wins me the game. Kebab Pizza, great username. Thank you for the 7 months. And then did I miss Bugnamente? Bugnamente, thank you for the 9 months as well. Ooh, best card. Is go Bant for Ice-Fang only worth it? I mean, I've played a ton of this deck. I think this deck is actually incredibly good. I think it's basically... I played it in paper, though. It's really hard to play in paper. So it's not hard to play, necessarily, as it is, like... It's hard to actually, like, finish out games. Because the shuffling takes forever. Your opponents never concede. It's tough. And I say this as, like, one of the faster Magic players out there. It is tough to close games out with this deck. But on Magic Online, you have a chess clock, so it's fine. But in paper, it's been tough. We've had this whole rant like millions of times. But yeah, splashing a color in the blue-white deck doesn't cost you a lot. Abundant Growth. Ice-Fang is much better in 80-card mana bases than it is in 60-card mana bases, because you not only get to have a better ratio of fetch lands to fetchables, but you also get to have they have heat. But you also get to have tutor targets that work with Ice-Fang that's harder to play the 60-card versions. The Snowlands, Prairie Stream. Prairie Stream works well with Ice-Fang because of it incentive. You get 2 basics, then you get your Prairie Stream, and you're pretty good to go, mana-wise. And obviously these cards work well with Yorion too. Okay, March is interesting. Just get rid of that Saga. How come we didn't Verdict here? I wanted to play Yorion and draw 3 cards and find some interaction from my opponent who's got this combo in their deck. Their deck's not super aggressive. Like, I could take 5 more damage. I also, like, if they don't have Unholy Heat for my Yorion, they have to attack their Channeler into my Yorion. I just get to eat it. I think that's pretty good too. Now we get to Verdict. 1 mana short of also Jacing. Deck for Mikey too. Wave and Heartstepper be modern playable. So that's the Pilfer engine, right? The 2 mana 1/3 Pilfer on second spell. I like that card a lot. I'm not really sure where I'd like to see it played though, and so, like, you know, there's a lot of cards like that in Modern where I like them. I think they have a good power level. They're very unique. Sometimes these cards just never end up fitting anywhere, though. So we'll see. We'll see if this card ever fits anywhere. Well, We had a long math lesson the other day about why Yorion decks are more prone to mana flood, and this is why I like to play so many Jaces in this deck. I was playing 4 Jaces for a long time, actually. I'm down to 3. I'm playing the first Wandering Emperor. Oh boy. But yeah, Yorion decks are more prone to like the higher ranges of variants. Blue-white with Snake. Broker's Charm is completely unplayable. Don't put Broker's Charm in your deck. I understand it's kind of cute with Ice-Fang. I understand it says draw 2 cards on it. It's not a playable modern card, in my opinion. I really just like playing the first Shark Typhoon when you don't have the first Memory Deluge or the first Jace or the third Teferi hero. I hated Memory Deluge. Well, we could agree to disagree on that. At the very least, that doesn't mean you have to put Broker's Charm in your deck. You know what I mean? Like, that card's just... it's not good. That card's not good. At the very least, like, I would play the third Teferi hero, the first Jace. Like, as much as I love Shark Typhoon, like, you just need more sources of card advantage. Are we dead here? Dude, we're dead. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna bring in these Endurances. They are an Urza Saga deck, so I think I'll keep in the Spreading Seas. I think I'll play a second Force of Negation. Cut the Wandering Emperor, cut Third Verdict, cut 1 Solitude, 2 Solitudes. Maybe trim 1 Spreading Seas. I think I want 2 Force, not 3. Let's have the marches for Saga 2. Just sounds nice. I mean, I have plenty of good answers to Saga. This deck is like super good at answering Saga. Just is really only good against that card, right? How often you get salty opponents that talk shit to me in chat? A lot less once I started becoming a streamer. Yeah, I mean, I would get the Broker's Charms out of here. You can play 1 Endless Detour to test it. I think it's probably going to be a card that you play for a little while and end up cutting. I feel like you need to play, like, over the Broker's Charms, like a 3/3/3 split of Prismatic Ending, Solitude, March of Otherworldly Light. And then probably... I'm not sure how I feel about the Spreading Seas dress downs in the main deck of a non-Yorion version. It's probably fine. But I really like to see 1 more card advantage Planeswalker. I also feel like Wandering Emperor... I don't really like playing 2 of this card in these control decks. I think that's not that strong. I would never play Glacial Fortress in the Ice-Fang deck either, I think. Maybe never is a bit harsh, but I wouldn't play it, I think. I also historically like the blue-white... the blue-white Snowland over the blue-green one, because it allows you to cast your verdicts a bit easier. And you usually want white mana earlier over green. Not that it matters too much anymore. Oh, there he comes. It's Ragavan. I gotta get my headquarters. Take a hit. You play all the snows. I missed that you play all the snows. You definitely shouldn't play more than 1 Snowland. You should maybe play 0 Snowland with the Bant Triome. I don't know. I have to play like the 60 card versions. What Triomes do you think 4-color Omnath will play? I think they'll play Bant Teamer. I'm gonna use my mana here. I'm gonna counter the... You know, countering Grinding Station's so bad because they just get it back with Breach. Yeah, whatever. It resolves. Mando with the 4 months. Appreciate ya. I guess I should steal main phase, actually. Could potentially be dead if they have the Super Nuts, but sometimes you lose to the Super Nuts. Thoughts of the 1-mana gate. The card's unplayable in any non-EDH format, and maybe also EDH. Yeah. 3 mana. Undoes. Teferi. Teferi bounce their Ragavan back to their hands. I get to resolve with Jace, though. Have I played New Capenna? Thought it released online tomorrow. It releases in limited online tomorrow. It's available in treasure chests today. And I got a little lucky and opened a Bant Triumph. Okay, I'm going to try to brainstorm into a white card for the Jace and Solitude. Mission accomplished. Thoughts on the Obnexus Planeswalker for Modern? I'm going to try it out. I don't know, like... Everybody's losing their mind on over that card in Standard, and I have no doubt that it's good in Standard, but I do have doubt that it's going to be a Modern staple. We're going to try it out. We're going to try it out. I think that is going to be somewhat fringe playable. People also always freak out about, like, the most, like... You know, I remember people were losing their minds over Rin 7 in Standard when, like, that card first came out, and as far as I can tell, Rin 7, maybe we have, like, one or two Standard people in the chat that could correct me or say something, but I'm under the impression that that card, like, saw, like, 0 play for the rest of time. Or, like, that card ended up seeing, like, almost no play in Standard after, like, people were freaking out about it on release weekend. So, I'm not saying that's what's happening here, but I am saying, like, people always lose their mind over, like, a good Standard threat the first weekend before the metagame is adjusted. General question, do you think new Triumphs alone change the playability of any deck? I mean, they all change the playability, but, like, you know, how much is, like, just obviously the hard question to answer. Scary. Thoughts on the blue-black draw 2 discard instant for Animator? It's an interesting option. I like the card. You know, you can see all the cards I like in my Twitter post. Dude, Grinding Station Urza is sick. What the hell? Oh, I've never seen this before. If I recall correctly, we'd still play until the banning, so I fear with the metagame shakeup. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I just think it's. I am against the trend that is very common for Standard players right now, where it's just like it's so easy for Standard players to just like complain about the new Mythic after playing with it for literally one day and like suggest that it needs to be banned before it ever does it all, before even like trying to adjust for it. Here's the thing, though. It's like, if you have a Chariot and you're getting to attack and copy a creature, you're ahead. If you get to do that and you also have an Ob, that your opponent didn't interact with the creature you sacrificed to Ob, they didn't interact with your Ob, they didn't interact with your Chariot, they're not doing anything. Like, it's obviously awesome for you when that happens, but you're just winning those games anyways. Every single time, you know? Stacksboy, with the deck tech also, can you post that one in the chat too? It's like, how often do you get to, like, you know, have your 1 or 2 mana creature for your Ob not die, and then have and then have your 3 mana Planeswalker not be interacted with, and then have your Chariot not be interacted with, and then attack with your Chariot, copy your Ob, and they have no removal spells, they're not head on board. Like how often is, like, do you have any other, like, 2, 3, 4 curve that your opponent doesn't interact with and you don't win anyways, you know? You play Ob after Chariot, not the other way around. Well, sure. Well, in whatever situation you're doing this, you're curving out really well and your opponent's not interacting with you. And those are just always, at least in Standard, it really seems like that's just, you know, always going to be games you're winning. You may win by a lot. You may win by a lot, but doesn't really change the overall thing, right? Okay, so you're blending Tamashii combo with blue-white affinity, which I think is very interesting. It's a bit odd to me, I guess, to be playing Artificer's Intuition as your engine. I'm not saying it's bad, it's just odd. I haven't really seen this card in action much. Small card, thank you for the Twitch Prime, appreciate you. Yeah, I also see, yeah, people keep talking to me about the Spike. You can sack your giant Murktide Regent or your giant Death Shadow to op. It's like, if you have a giant Murktide Regent or a giant Death Shadow that your opponent hasn't interacted with, your opponent's either going to untap and kill you, or you're going to win that game, likely anyways, most of the time, you know? It'll be really cool when it happens, though, and I'm not saying that these things are going to be unplayable, but I am saying is they're just really overhyped at the moment. Small card with the Twitch Prime, Ninja Bandit with the 5 months. Yeah, just the quintessential living in nut draw, grief into violent outburst on your upkeep, into Force of Negation, your counterspell. The quintessential living in nut draw. That being said, we have an incredible sideboard plan against them. Sorry. Keeping 3 Solitudes actually over the Spreading Seas. Oh wait, I also don't want these marches. Hold on, sorry. Sorry, decks changed a little bit. This is very interesting. I feel like this list looks to be like relatively tuned to me, which is exciting. I feel like I don't love the second copy of Amulet of Vigor. I think that just leaving one of as an Artificer's Intuition tutor target and playing the 4th Intuition makes a lot of sense to me here. I love the Stoneforge Mystic sideboard plan. The sideboard looks great to me overall. I would be kind of inclined to play only 2 Citadels if you're playing 4 Razortide Bridge, play the 3rd Seacrum Coast, but this deck looks great. I like it a lot. Looks really fun, really creative. Big thumbs up. Ninja Bandit with the 8 months. Florent Wind, thank you for the 3 months as well. And Admiral Arlacrick with the 12. Happy anniversary. Alright, mulligan this hands. Ugh. Well, we can get a Bant Triumph here. I'm gonna go to 5. Okay, let's keep this. Put back both charms, I guess. Think any of the new set will fit into Junkoku Sack we used to play. Maybe. There's some options. Obviously, Ob is interesting there. Like, you could just play Ob over Coco in that shell. But then, like, your Mayhem Devils get a lot worse without Cocos, I it's all tricky. Voidwalker, Turok. Okay, I have a deck that is kind of similar to this I'm working on. Spider with the 13 months, appreciate ya. Yeah, Riveteer's Charm is my pick for the best card for Modern from the new set. I don't have my hands on any copies yet. I'm trying to get my hands on some copies. If you got any copies, let me know. GG's make. So yeah, I'm not quite ready to post I've got like a red-black mid-range list with Ob that's a little bit different than this. One thing is, I don't really like to see this card in a deck that doesn't have many creatures to sacrifice Ob to. You know, like, if you have Ragavan in this deck, which you probably should be playing Ragavan in a red-black discard-based deck anyways, but, like, Ragavan at least gives you these nut draws where you get to go Ragavan into turn 2 Planeswalkers on the play, win the game, you know? And you just don't have that here, which is one thing I really dislike about this this build. They force the Spreading Seas? They force the Spreading Seas. I will also say that, like, if you're gonna play a red-black discard-based deck, and you're like, you need to play like 3 or 4 copies of Kroxa. Kroxa is way better than the Rack. It's way better than Shrieking Affliction. It is just like the card you need to be on in order to have your deck function. So the Grief Pitch, Street Wraith. We thankfully draw lands. Yeah, so yeah, Kroxa is just like is such a a perfect card for this archetype. In my opinion, it is a better enabler for you than Urza Saga. I know that I've worked on the Rack decks with Urza Saga in the past. I've always felt like I ended up like leaving those decks thinking that the Rack was just kind of, or Urza Saga was a little underpowered in the deck, and a big part of the reason to play these lists in the past was you got Lurrus as a companion, which you no longer do, obviously with the banning. And I am of the opinion that you should not be playing Saga. You should be playing like 3 Kroxas. You should be playing Ragavans, and 3 copies of Raven's Crime is way too many. I would play the 4th Wrenchmine before the 1st Raven's Crime. You can play 1 Raven's Crime maybe, but it's just not that good. 4 sideboard HCA seems like a lot. I'm honestly like becoming really low on HCA and Modern in general. It feels like it's not that good against a lot of decks. The decks that you are good, it is good against, are usually like pretty good matchups for red black anyways. It's oftentimes like a more win more card. It's not a card I'm super duper into. Alright, those are my thoughts there. Alright, so both players stuck on 3 lands, missing land drops. Obviously, I'm never, ever letting my, or tapping out of Dovin's veto here. Yeah, Hidetsu consumes all his HCA. Yeah, I'm not saying the card's unplayable in Modern, but I'm like a lot lower on it than I used to be. Do you think it's possible to port the old Sultai Bring to Light Valkyries to be banned? I've done it. You can dig really deep in the Stream Decker. I did it pretty early into MH2. That being said, with Lurrus being banned, there's not much reason to do that in the first place. I'm going to draw 2 on Instep here. I would normally never do this, but my opponent has no green mana, so we're safe from a Violent Outburst. We're currently 0-1 in the league. The record tracker always breaks when a new set releases. It's a bit weird. Spike is back to mispronouncing it. Hidetsu consumes all. That's definitely how you pronounce it, right? Oh, Hidetsugu. Hidetsugu. Damn it. Dude, I've never seen any Living End player stumble this hard. It's kind of like the opposite draw that they had from game 1. Is that out on Magic Online already? It's out in only Treasure Chest right now, and I was lucky enough to open a Aspera's headquarters in a Treasure Chest. I was not thinking I was going to stream it all today. I opened Aspera's headquarters, so I'm like, all right, we'll give it a go, huh? I'm supposed to counterspell the Grieve. I want to like just cast a Solitude end of turn though before they get a green mana. Yeah, tomorrow the set comes out for limited, and like it's like tomorrow you can actually realistically get the cards, but you know you kind of play the content creator lottery on this Wednesday. The last couple set releases I've just taken this day off, or like last set release specifically was the end of the trophy race, so I was really happy to take the day off. But you know you're always itching to like get your hands on the new cards and start streaming, making videos with the new cards as soon as you possibly can. Fade with 9 months, appreciate you. It's $10 for a deck tech. As the one of headquarters made a huge improvement in the deck so far. We've been fetching it a lot. I think it is like a significant upgrade, yes. Does it fundamentally change a lot? No. Does it break the deck? No. But it is, I do feel like a pretty significant upgrade. I guess we'll take the 2 for 1. Let's bottom this. Do you have thoughts on the new Face of Druid combo? Yes. I have thoughts, I guess. My opponent's 22 cards without seeing a green source. That's unreal. There's lots of ways to build it. I think that it's unfortunately really unlikely that the deck ends up becoming a big player in Modern. It seems really unlikely that this new card is a big enabler. I think that I've played enough with like Urza Saga in like non-artifact focused decks that I'm not sure that this card's going to be that big a payoff. You can also play Zerda potentially as a companion. You can play the Umbra Mantle combo with no Vizier and no Urza Saga. which also doesn't seem like it's going to be a big player either. But I will be trying it out. I've got a few different ways we're going to build it. That may be something I work with more off stream and see if I can find a good version, or maybe not. We'll see. Can you post the link in the chat, Faded? I'll take a look. Do you intend to brew Esper Control with the new cards? I intend to try. I intend to try. Canoxy, with your 14 months, appreciate you. The problem with Esper decks, as we keep saying, it's just, you know, you're just forced into playing only 3 mana spells. It's horrible. It's a fate worse than death. Canoxy, 14 months. How have the new tribes been so far? We've fetched them every single game, actually, we played so far. Bant's Control by Ill-Fated. Another 60 card Bant's Control variant. We've been talking about this a lot. I'm not of the opinion that Chalice of the Void is so good in the metagame that you want to be main decking 3 copies. I'm also very much of the opinion that Ice-Fang Coatl is way better when you play... It's way better when you play Abundant Growth. Just like, that card really lets you fetch more basic lands. Which is obviously why you like to see me play Bant Control as an 80-card deck as opposed to a 60-card deck like you have here. That being said, like, you can build a deck this way. It's totally fine. I would probably be leaning towards play the second March of Otherworldly Light over, like, the 4th Solitude or the 3rd Chalice. I don't love the main deck Dovin's Veto. I don't think that's very good. You're also, I think, a little too light on Planeswalkers. I would like to see, like, either like 3rd Teferi and 1 Wandering Emperor, or like 3rd Teferi, 1 Jace, 1 Wandering Emperor. But I do think that you need more Planeswalkers. And I would be cutting like 1 Deluge, and maybe that's like where the Chalice gets cut for, the Dovin's Veto gets cut for. But I think for the most part, I'd rather just see the Veto stay in the sideboard. Sideboard, you should play Dress Down over Aether Gust. The way you lose the Titan matchup is your opponent playing a Cultivator Colossus with a Cavern of Souls. That's how you lose that matchup most of the time, in my experience. And Aether Gust, they just put it on top and cast it again next turn. Dress Down, just gonna deal with it. I see that you also have Dress Down, but I'm mostly saying, like, I would play 4 Dress Down before the first Aether Gust. This card is mostly just for the Titan matchup. I know you can bring it in other spots, but I would play like 3 Dress Down, probably 0 Aether Gust. Your Titan matchup's probably not that bad anyways. I don't like these Celestial Purges very much. They seem like pretty unnecessary. I do like the 3rd Verdict on the board. I'd probably like to see the 3rd copy of Rest in Peace, maybe the 3rd copy of Chalice on the board, 3rd copy of Dovin's Veto. That kind of stuff. Alright, get into a fight here. Another deck tech, this time from Rufus. Give me a second on this one. Getting your serious opinions of cards in my jam. Anywhere I can go to get hot takes, spicy beam format. I mean, also on Twitter. Although this time, honestly, there wasn't too many jokes on that one. I had more Aether Gust for Burn. Yeah. If you want a card sideboard against Burn, play Weather the Storm. You know, Aether Gust I think is generally a sideboard card in Modern that you just not want to play that often these days. It's just very medium against like everything. I know it's a versatile card, but I think you should be leaning towards more powerful options in general for your sideboard cards in Modern. I really would prefer to not show them Endurance. This is like a little green. I should have also attacked with Ice-Fang first. How's the opponent ever beating my hand here? They're not, but I mean I did Moldify. This was end up being a really weird game. All right. Why didn't we just jam Veto? I want my opponent to fight over it there, right? Veto is 2 mana in the Counterspell war. I'm way ahead on cards here. I wanna grind my opponent out of cards. And then save the veto for, and I win the next fight button. Chris Ring for the 9 months, appreciate you. I say band control is tier 0 or 0.5. Now that's slightly better mana. Probably tier 0.5. Not quite tier 0 yet. Cool deck. I do like Tenacious Underdog a lot. I do like Aegon, God of Death. I do like Can't Stay Away. I'll say Collective Brutality is probably not a main deckable Pioneer card. I would really like to see you play 4 copies of Thoughtseize in the main deck. Without the 4 Thoughtseize, you're going to have a really tough time beating the combo decks that exist in the format. I also think Rite of Oblivion is not that good of a card. Like, 2 mana to answer permanent at sorcery speed is okay, but at the cost of you sacrificing a creature, which, you know, you have some creatures that are good to sacrifice. Like, you know, this is fine if you have an Archfiend Vessel or Citrus Supplier in play, or Skyclave Shade, but it is certainly not free here, and it is certainly not. I genuinely think Rite of Oblivion is just not very good. It's like it's also like sorcery speed answers are not great in the format either. It's just like, I think it's just ain't it, you know, just ain't it. Again, I want my opponent to commit more, commit and fight here. They have 3 cards. I want to make them use their cards. I want to grind them out. Yeah, so I think I'd like to see you cut all the Rite of Oblivions, all the Brutalities, play like 4 Thoughtseize main, 2 push main, 2 push side. Maybe play 3 Can't Stay Away, 3 push. I think Elspeth's Sun's Nemesis is not playable. You need to play like 3 or 4 Damping Spheres in the sideboard. I really hate Elspeth's Sun's Nemesis. I'm sorry. I just can't stand that card. Yeah, you play 3 or 4 Damping Spheres in the sideboard for Lotus Field. Maybe play Noxious Grasp also for Winota. I could see that being good. I think I have to keep this on the draw against Living End. We have Dovin's Veto. We don't have a green card, but we do have Endurance. Verdict is also good in this matchup. Wandering Emperor is pretty awkward. And another deck for Civ. Give me a second on those. Need to stagger these out a little bit more, to be honest. But if you post in the chat, I'll take a look at some point. Have you ever tried Snapcaster in the build? Snapcaster is not playable in this build. You don't have nearly enough cheap instants or sorceries. You have to build the deck really differently. But I have played Snapcaster in blue-white decks in the past, yes. Good draw. Senior Dragon Pioneer list so often today. Yeah, I was watching Todd play some of it this morning, and I also saw, or this afternoon, sometime. I saw that he ended up playing the Mirror a couple times. What are some good decks for someone trying to get into Modern that are not combo? You know, I answer this question a lot. I think that trying to just, like, I would recommend to you, instead of, like, me just yelling a deck at you, I would recommend spending a lot of time researching and looking at different decks and finding one that speaks to you, you know? Finding one that you're jiving with. Okay, so they did bring in Subtlety. So I think I'm supposed to Dovin's Veto this, despite the fact that they can pretty easily just untap and Living End. But I do have a Supreme Verdict in my hand. Thanks for the advice. Okay, so today we've had 2 deck techs for Bant control, and now 2 deck techs for Esper control. Moderation, in my opinion, is not a playable modern card. It's very cool, but here's the other thing. Listen, you can't take a set where you get some new Esper cards, Obscura Charm, and you know the new 3-mana Void Rend, which maybe is not good, but you can't also just add like a. I'm also going to play Moderation. We're just going to be every single Esper control deck just has way too many 3-drops. This is the issue I've been talking about for weeks. This is the issue with trying to build Esper control with the new cards, and both of the Esper control deck techs we've. Oh hell yes. And both of the Esper control deck techs we've had so far, they all play too many 3-drops. You have 6, 10, 12. 12 is way too many. You can play 8, 9, maybe if you're really stretching it. 12 is way too many. You are not immune to restrictions there. Do not have a 3rd Cascade spell. Do not have it. Fuck. Okay, let's give it another go, huh? Oh, dude, 2 people already have trophies? Is endurance the...